Ever since I started consuming superhero media, I was glued to the screen whenever I saw a new live action Batman movie. As a kid, I thought the costumes looked amazing. Even the despised today's costumes of Joe Schumacher looked great in my child's eyes. But as you get older, you start to see things differently. Still, it took me a long time to notice some flaws in all the Bat costumes. And I'm not even talking about nipples and cut pieces here. Those are some problems I have with it that most people won't really consider problems. But it's just my personal opinion. So here we go. The ears. Whether you're a fan of short ears or long ears or both, one thing just is undeniable to me. They look nothing like bat ears. They look more like horns. Now, I can look past that with Tim Burton's version of the character, because the costume itself has a very animalistic and classic side to it, which I like. The Batman Begins costume can also be forgiven for that, because it still has that mystical effect to it. All the others though, not really. I want to see for once a Batman costume that has ears actually resembling the ears of the animal that is mimicking. That would be a fresh change. But then again, I understand that people don't want him to look too absurd, hence the horn-like ears. The cape. This one is my biggest problem with today's version of the Dark Knight. The last time we saw him clocking his shoulders, or just his body in general, was in Batman Begins. More often than not, his cape just sits hanging behind his back. And you might say, well, what's wrong with that? How else are we supposed to see the costume? That's fine during fight scenes or short scenes of him standing still. But how many times are we just gonna ignore that he looks so much better with his cape acting like a cloak, covering his body and making him look so much more imposing? And sure, it looks a lot better for animated style Batman. Live action actors need to be able to move easily. But while just standing still or in short fight scenes, him being like this just looks so much better to me than this. Also, what's the deal with the regular cape? No sharp edges at the end? The point of him wearing it is for both protection and to make a giant bat wings when opened. He's supposed to look like a bat after all, so the lack of sharp edges at the end is not helping much. The suit itself. 2023 Flashpoint Batman gave us back the black and yellow emblem. I missed that one. We haven't seen it since Batman Forever. Now it's usually just a generic black bat logo on his chest. It worked well for the Dark Knight Returns because it contrasted strongly with the blue and grey suit with yellow-black logo. But now it's like everyone is afraid to just give him back the yellow and black emblem. It's so iconic, not to mention how well it blends with the yellow belt. I have a sneaking suspicion that this trend started with the Arkham games, which featured the huge bat logo. Personally, I never found the appeal to it. The wrist blades, I'm not sure if that's how they're supposed to be called, but I'm using that. They went from sleek and curved to just square, like missing that gothic feel to it. I suppose it works for more realistic and grounded Batman, but I'm not a huge fan of that version of the costume anyway. As for the trunks, to be honest, I never liked them. Not only because it looked goofy to me, but also they seem to hide how simplistic the suit is without them. Just grey spandex is not working. Luckily, Batman these days is not wearing any of that. But then you get suits that look so militaristic that it gets closer to a SWAT outfit than a creature of the night. To me, designing his suit is a very tricky business, but it can be done so well.